Hello students, let's learn about how to not take studio photos of your artwork. So the lesson objectives are to demonstrate an understanding of Miss J's expectations for how you will photograph and document your artwork, and to explain and identify the correct and incorrect processes for photographing artwork. So this lesson covers both 2D, like drawings, and 3D art, because for our class, there's a few reasons why I want you to photograph your work. When you complete a project, you will be asked to take photos, and you'll be submitting these photos in Canvas. So I need you to document what you have created. This also serves as insurance purposes. It's recording what you created, because especially when we get to ceramics and clay, when we fire artwork in the kiln, there is a chance it could blow up for several reasons. So if your artwork blows up in the kiln, we still have a record of what you made. These photos are also used for your end of the year virtual portfolio, and that will be happening in May or June. Now, sometimes your photos will be of drawings or sculptures, but regardless, we want the quality to be good. We want photos that are crisp and not blurry. We want artwork that is well lit, not too dark, not too bright, and no big shadows. The photo must be shapes must be straight, not crooked, right? We don't want anything like that. And we need to consider the background. So in this presentation here, we want to think about how well we can see your artwork. What's in the frame of the photo? How well can we see it? The position of the artwork within the frame of the photo, as well as lighting and where are you taking the photos, right? Are you outside? Are you inside? And the camera angle. Very important things to consider, as well as just how to edit your photos. So here's a photo. The problem with this photo is we should not see your hand. Studio photos, they're meant to be used for your portfolio, again, your end of the year virtual portfolio, and it's meant to showcase your work. So the hand in this photo looks a little distracting. The problem with this photo is the photo is too dark. It looks slightly blurry. Now the angle looks great, but the photo is just way too dark. The photo in this example also appears blurry, and the artwork has been cut off. Like, what's happening here? Why is it at an angle? The problem with this photo is the photo is not straight on the artwork, like it's at an angle, and this photo could have been cropped, right? Why do we see all this area around the artwork? Now we got two more examples. Now with this one, the angle looks awkward and it makes it difficult for us to see the entire sculpture. This might have been one photo out of several, that's okay, but if this was just one photo that you're submitting and that's the only photo, that's not a good example. The problem with these photos is this side is a little too dark. The problem there is a big shadow. So part of the artwork is lit okay, but the position of the camera is adding a really bad shadow. So to consider about lighting is when we're in the classroom, you need to use the lighting that's available. That is true. We're not adding more lighting to your work, but please don't use a flash. It's going to be too bright. You don't need to photograph your work at night or in a dark room. So if you're taking your artwork home to work on, you need to consider, if you decide to take photos at home, like what is the current lighting in your room? You need to take multiple photos so you have multiple choices. And once you take the photo, you can, on your phone, zoom in to check that the photo is in focus. I have received photos in the past where the background is in focus, but the artwork, the main subject, is blurred because the camera didn't focus on the right part in the photo. Now, this is a pretty good photo. The problem is the lighting is too bright on the left side, which makes the right side appear a little too dark. So a great example of contrast, but it's a little too extreme in this photo. So the problem with this photo is the shadows are distracting. I'm not too concerned about the background and what's around it, but the shadows are just too distracting. It's also at a weird angle. So with this one, the bright lighting behind the artwork, it actually makes it difficult to see the details because the artwork looks so dark, the background looks super bright. So these are some good examples of 3D artwork with really great lighting. So with this example, the lighting is better, the very plain background. This is easier to see the artwork just because of how like straight on the picture is, as well as the lighting is even, and this also has good even lighting, right? I can see all parts of the artwork in that photo. So you have to consider the frame. The frame is the outer edge of when you take a picture, right? Kind of, because whenever you take a photo, the frame is the frame of the camera. So we want to take photos of all sides or views of 3D artwork. If I tell you to take a picture of each side, like you can see here, we can see 3 sides of this artwork. This gives me a better idea of what your work looks like. And definitely make sure we're not using your flash. We're also not using any filters, right? And you can take many pictures. You can always decide what to delete later. For 3D artwork, the background matters. So if you're taking a picture of your work in progress, that's fine. We're going to see the background of the studio. But if it's your final artwork, we need a plain background that's not distracting or cluttered. Here is a light box. Now we do have a light box in the classroom. Doesn't look like that, but it's very similar. This is a thing you can use to place your 3D artwork, and we can take photos because it contains light inside the box. So if you take the photo at the correct angle, you have this flawless picture with a flawless background. Just like these 2 examples here, you can actually make your own lighting setup at home. Now this is a great example. Wonderful. Like, look, the background looks flawless, right? So in the frame, the artwork should always be close up. It should be centered, right? If you're taking photos that are far away, we really can't see the details very well. Now, something to think about is the camera angle. This is the angle of your actual phone. So you can actually turn on the grid feature on your phone to create a frame that you could, like, the frame lines up with the edges of the artwork. This works better for 2D, but if you want to know how to add the frame to your phone, definitely come and see me. It's a pretty cool feature. So depending on the tilt of your camera will depend on the angle that we can see in the photo. So again, these are poor examples of camera angles, right? You can see how parts of the artwork are kind of tilted due to the camera. This is a bad angle. And what happens is part of the artwork is cropped, and the lighting in this one is a little spotty. It's also just a bizarre angle. Now these are great examples of camera angles. Again, the photo is straight on. We can see what's there. With this example, the close-ups are really helpful, but we need to see the entire artwork as well. And what's nice about this example is the photo was cropped, so we're not seeing everything in the background. That is a better picture. And last but not least, you can edit your photo. So you can crop your photo. You can do this actually on your phone. You can adjust the lighting, but I would only adjust the brightness or contrast. I wouldn't change the colors. Please don't use filters. And now it's time for you to practice.